WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. And today I'm tasting German whiskey, and it's going to be here a distillery only bottling, and it's called the Journey Distiller's Cut. This is an 48% ABV version of the normal, and I just have a small bottle here of the 43%. Scott and Bart from the Scotch Test Dummies actually received also a little bottle of this from me in the summer of 2017. We tasted it online, and Scott really liked it. The Glen Els, they have a little bag instead of a box, which I really also like. And this is the special edition 2018. So at the end of March 2018, I was at the distillery in the Harz Mountains. And so when you come up in northern Germany where I live, you have Hamburg, then you have Hanover, and then in between that and basically Frankfurt, you have a range of mountains like the Appalachian Mountains. And this was a distillery that started basically around 2012. And that's wrong, right? 2002. They've been doing this now for over 16 years. That's what I was looking for. And they're basically, in my opinion, the best, or maybe one of the best 3 distilleries we have in the country. Now, I was given this. This is also a little bit of merchandise here. They always have this font here for their letter, Glen Els, the Glen Els. Even though it's in Germany, they can use the word Glen, which is very special. And it says, "Home is where the hearts is," because the mountain is called Harz, or the mountain range, and they are right on the foot of the highest mountain in the northern part of Germany called the Brocken. So I also have nice little buttons with magnets and little pin-ons and so on. That's very nice. All right, so during the distillery tour, it was very interesting. They have 2 wash stills, wood-fired, not coal-fired, not gas-fired, but actually they really use wood, which is a local, a sustainable material that was it's grown within about a 100-kilometer area around the distillery, and they use the barley exactly from the region. They buy their barley from Hildesheimer barley depot basically, and that works out just fine. So they use all local materials. They have their own mountain sourced water, very nice. And so this guy, his name is Alexander Buchholz. He is the master distiller there, and he decided to actually bring out a distiller's edition of his normal, The Journey. The Journey shows basically the journey of this distillery, because they are famous for using their wine casks to actually mature the whiskey. Not ex-bourbon. Very seldom do they have an ex-bourbon barrel there, but usually it is. In this case, we have sherry, we have port, we have Madeira wine, we have Marsala wine, we have Malaga, which is also like a rummy type of wonderful, nice wine, and we also have Grand Cru Bordeaux, so a red wine from France. 6 different casks are then vatted, married together, and then filled up for the Glen Els. And every year tastes a little bit different. That is also a very interesting fact that I did not know until I went to the distillery. They actually Alex tries to make it as close as possible, but one year maybe it's a little bit more of a great Madeira cask, and the next year it might be a great Malaga cask, or it might be a great sherry cask, and that does influence it, because you're only marrying maybe one of each and maybe 2 or so of the sherry, and then you have that year's bottling. Do not forget that they're basically producing less than 50,000, I think it's 25,000 bottles a year. And that still puts them into the top 3 German producers of whiskey, and basically in the top 5 of all of mainland Europe, excluding Ireland, excluding Scotland, and so on. And so for Jim Beam, that's like a couple hours of production. And over here, it's an entire year of production. And also, that's one of the funny things, is the supply and demand. There's a demand for at least 150,000 bottles a year, which means these things sell out enormously fast, and yet they're still only producing about a third of that. And there are no plans to expand. They said, we are not an industrial plant, we are a craftsmanship run company. Everything is done by hand. The bottles are labeled by hand, the bottles are filled by hand, actually the wood is put into the pot stills by hand. Everything is done. They have the spirits safe, and they actually do everything by hand. There was one computer over there in the entire place, and every place else I've been to, there's always a computer on the wall, the screen, the display, the temperature, everything's always been on there. Nope, this is just all handcrafted, and that makes it special, and that also contributes to the fact that this will be 2016 version will smell and taste differently than the 2018 version. Not just the difference in ABV, this is 43, this is 48, but also the casks that are used. In total, they have about 500 casks, mainly just those 7 different types of wine casks. Sultan, I forgot. And they just have about 500 casks in their 3 warehouses. So it's not a very, very, very big production. Jim Beam, they needed, I think, 2 years to go from 4.5 million to 5 million casks filled. So that means they filled 500,000 casks in 5 years or so. So they're doing over 100,000 casks a year, and they have 500 casks in total. And it usually is about a 3 to 5 year old whiskey. No age statement. But that is the case often with German wines and German whiskeys and whiskeys from places outside of Scotland and Ireland. So let's try it. First of all, the nose. Oh, very, very nice. I have a lot of Malaga. I have a little bit of sherry. It has a little bit of the Madeira also in there. I described this in my German video as being a cocktail of different types of cask finished whiskeys. Maybe you've had the Aaron series where they tried like 8 different casks finished. Each and every barrel was then refilled into one different wine cask, and then imagine you took like 1 cl, 1 ounce of each of those, put them together, and then you'd get this. And I like this. This is very nice. Now this is the Journey with 43%. Which means that this is 5% ABV less. Now this costs 69 euros, and the big bottle this costs then 59 euros. So add about 10% to that, so around $80, around $65, $70. And this is a limited edition. It says here, I like this. This is 1 of 1,000 bottles. And the very important part also is it's non-chilled filtered, both of these, 43 as well as 48%, and they never add any color. And you can also see here that seems to be a little bit lighter than this in the color. And they do have a variation in the journey between year and year. All right, so I'm gonna try this. I love the legs, by the way. Oh yeah, I must admit that is very, very nice. Oh, it's so fruity. And this is one of the specialities of German whiskey, is that they often use European wine casks, not the ex-bourbon barrels that you always know of in Scotland and Ireland and so on. But these have been matured the entire 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 years in that one cask, and they only use their casks once. They will not reuse a cask again. Very, very seldom have they ever done that, and they tried it once or twice, and every single time the result was like, we can't even sell this, no, bye-bye. And before they waste their whiskey, which is handcrafted, they would rather just use their cask once. So I'm going to just compare it very, very briefly to the 43. Even though it's a 43%, it's very, very nice. And the thing is, I get a lot more sherry. It's as if they imagine you had one barrel of the Bordeaux, one barrel of the Malaga, one barrel of the Masala, one barrel of the Madeira, one barrel of the port, and maybe like 3 barrels of the sherry here. The sherry is very dominating in this one, and the others are supporting characters. In comparison, over here, you get from the very, very beginning, more of these supporting characters, and the sherry is not dominating. The Malaga is something I really, really enjoy here. Great, great, great moment. Also, a little bit of the Madeira comes in there. And what I really enjoy about this is, if I was to do my hand movement, it comes in a very, very nice moment and stays there the entire time. Even the finish is still so fruity, nice. There is no burn. There is no bad, bitter wood. There is nothing to complain about here. This is a very, very solid, very nice, very well crafted, handcrafted piece of art. Thank you very much. I'm going to give this a solid B. It's not a B plus, it's not a B minus, it's a solid B. This was a B minus, which is for a German whiskey, a very, very good grade, by the way. Now, 69 euros, let's just call it like $75, is not very expensive for a distillery-only bottling. And so I'm going to give it a C. Now, 16, this is the standard size was still 60 euros. So this was like 30 euros for the half, for the 35 CL. And so it's not that, it's only 10 euros more. So it's really worth this to get this. While I was there, I did this tour, I did some interviews also with the master distiller in English and in German. You'll be able to see one of those videos at the end here. And also on YouTube, they've already been there. And then I was just at the bar trying the different whiskeys, or my friend tried it. I was the designated driver, and I smelled it, and I was able to just to enjoy that moment. About 10 of these bottles were actually sold, and this is the end of March 2018, within like an hour. And so this was a very, very hot selling item there. And that makes it very interesting that the 1,000 bottles will be gone before summer even comes. And this whole region is a very, very touristic region. If you want to go snowboarding, you want to go cross-country skiing, if you want to go any type of skiing, that's the only area in northern Germany that actually has ski lifts, that actually has ski slopes, that even have like a little place where you can go sledding and so on. And so many, many people go there for vacation, for winter vacations, for winter sports, and then they just have an activity and go, hey, what do we want to do today? Do we want to go down to an old mine? Do we want to maybe make some pottery or take a look at some crystal? Or do we want to go to a distillery? And that's what happens a lot, that the tourists come in and they take a souvenir with them, and that's a very, very nice product that they have there. All right, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American. Now, I'm going to name the 6 different things in this again, and I would like you to actually name your favorite wine, a wine that whiskey can be finished in. Is it sherry finish, port finish, Madeira finish, Masala, which is a very dark, from south of Italy, a red wine, Malaga, or the Bordeaux? I would have to say Madeira is my favorite to finish a whiskey in. But what is yours? All right, so Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are my videos. Thank you very much for liking. I almost have 200 subscribers. That's also great. And also tell other people about this person over here in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Bye.